Emily Landsborough. I am Head of ESG at Ibstock plc, and we have been talking increasingly to our customers about our ESG journey and in particular our decarbonisation journey. And so I'm here to talk a little bit about some of those questions. So our ESG commitments in our 2030 strategy are focused on addressing climate change, manufacturing materials for life and improving lives. So there are three focus areas. And under each of those areas, we have a number of ambitions. Our decarbonisation ambitions are to reduce our absolute carbon by 40% by 2030. That's for Scope 1 and 2. And to be net zero for Scope 1 and 2 by 2040. Our Scope 3, which is a smaller proportion of our carbon, is to be net zero on Scope 3 before 2050. So how we're going to get to those decarbonisation targets is through a number of different approaches. So we are looking at, obviously, operational efficiency and the renewal of our estate. So we have 40 manufacturing sites across the country, and how we improve the efficiency and develop new technologies at those sites. We are looking at alternative fuels, because that's one of the big areas of carbon emissions for us. So that is looking at alternatives for natural gas. For our Scope 2, we have already reduced our emissions, so we source pure green electricity, and we also have solar park and are looking at expanding our renewables across our estate. We're also looking at our products and how they evolve over time, so how we're looking at dematerialisation, so how we use less material to make the same products, but also looking at how we bring the circular economy into those products, so looking at recycled content and moving away from virgin aggregate. The final piece, well, there are many more bits, but the final piece is looking at carbon capture and how, for some of those unavoidable emissions at the moment, we would be able to capture those so that they're not going into the atmosphere. Well, it's going to be crucial for us to work with our customers and suppliers. We're already working with our supply chain on finding out more about their emissions so that we can map our own Scope 3, which is of course what our customers are asking for us. So we're looking at how we can be more transparent with our data, how we can ramp up on our EPD writing and verification so that that information is available for our customers, but also being more transparent about our progress, about what we do know now and what we don't yet know, and really keeping our customers informed. I think there's an opportunity for us to do pilots with customers and suppliers to really look at how we can break down some of the barriers that are there at the moment and start to move forward. Ibstock's products are fit for the future, and they are evolving all the time. So if you look at the qualities of the products that we produce, we're talking about thermal efficiency. So if you take the brick, the thermal properties of clay, hugely important for the home, for the operational use of the home. It's also one of the only products that I know of that improves with age. So if you look at a brick after 100 years, it's usually more attractive than when it started. The in-use carbon impact of a brick is extremely low or zero, so very little maintenance and repair. And I think what we really need to start doing is looking at the input carbon at manufacturing stage, but then the longevity of that product. So the products that Ibstock make are extremely durable and will last over 100 years, over 150 years in some cases. And so we need architects and house builders and designers to start looking at building homes for longer term and really considering the products that they use within that and that whole life carbon that is going to come from the materials that they specify. The built environment is a huge contributor to global carbon emissions, and as a component part of that built environment, we have a huge responsibility to reduce that impact. And I think we're all seeing, with the changing nature of the climate, more extreme weather events, more extreme disasters happening across the globe and the social impacts of that, so how that impacts on people's lives, is only going to get worse. And so I think there is a responsibility for Ibstock and for the whole sector to be, yes, decarbonising, but also looking at the social impact of decarbonisation and how we can make that fair, how we can ensure that people are left better off and in a better situation as the result of our decarbonisation efforts. I'm naturally an optimistic person, and I think as an environmentalist you have to be. I think we've still just about got time to make an impact, and I'm encouraged by being in a role and being in a business that wants to make a change. I do wake up at night, partly my age, but I do wake up at night and worry about things like my carbon disclosure project or TCFD, but I think overall we're putting the effort and the investment in the right places, and I think if we can do that collectively as a sector, we've got a chance to actually make a real difference. It's not easy, and it is a worry, and my children are worried about it, but I think we're doing the right things. We just need to do them faster.